This is I Only Touch Greatness Remix. Scan the code and follow.
I only touch greatness.
Yeah.
The mayor of C-Town, Ryan Hayes, and his big name guest.
Hey, this is your homegirl, Silky Fine, and I'm coming up next on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Hey, I made it.
Hey, Miss Silky Fine, the one and only.
Finally, I was looking like 5 o'clock, 5:30. What's up?
Right. I'm on the midway, Central Time. So whenever I seen 5:30, I was like, oh snap! I'm thinking it's 8, but then I'm like, no, it ain't 8, it's 7.
Man, I just said 5:30 my time.
Yeah, no, you're on the right time as me because we're Pacific time. And then Prince Allen, he's in Kansas City. So,
Right. So we're here.
Yeah, we're good.
I only see a very small picture, so I don't know. Is my lighting
you're fine. I think it's more Prince in Kansas City that's got it dark in there. I can't see him.
I know it's kind of dark because I'm still at a restaurant.
Well, it looks like
yeah.
I'm feeling down. As long as I can see a little bit of me.
Yeah, nothing like doing the interview from the buffet table, like.
Right.
So, okay, how's your day going?
Great. I'm just TGIF. I'm so busy these days, but everything is going great. I had a great Friday.
Okay, good. And thank you for posting that earlier about my podcast.
Yes. Yeah, that's dope.
We definitely are humble from that. Every time I heard he told us about the interview I was like, first thing I was thinking of Romeo and Juliet. One of my all-time favorites.
Man, it's I never expected that record to just carry for over 20 years now. Yeah. Because when I did it, we never know what's really a hit records. And I received a lot of criticism you were with Eazy-E, you're a gangster. What's going on with this Silky Fine? That record is whack. So I just was like, well, the homies are turning on me. But we gave it a shot and the record did what it does.
And it's still doing good.
Numbers because for that point, from hell to this day, it's still an all-time classic, and it always gets spins.
Man, it's unbelievable. So I just say that you never know what's really a hit record, So a lot of artists, they tend to think, being abstract and lyrical by miracle, and that's good for battle rap if you're just hanging out in clubs. But usually a simple record is a hit because people can easily, they can identify with it. They can remember the lyrics, So I like to tell upcoming artists, there's different genres of music, so you can do what you want. But if you have to outthink and overwrite, it's probably not a hit record.
No.
So growing up in South Central, if my stats are right, what was childhood like for you growing up?
Man, I am blessed that I came from a beautiful family. So I never grew up. That's probably why I'm so headstrong and I'm so freaking confident, because I was blessed to come up with a small family. I didn't never suffer any trauma, childhood abuse, family incarcerated, drug addicts. I was blessed. So it was always the middle class, the Huxtables, but I always had this hood thing in me. And my mom is like, why are you so ghetto? Mama, it's in me. It ain't out me. She's like, yeah, you're just cutting up. Cause nobody acts like you. No one talks like you in our family. And it was just I was always this creative, artistic little girl because my governor name is Lamar. And then I had this little mole on my face. So, growing up, they would call me Lamo. Kids are cruel.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta find some type of talent. And it was just like artistic. I was already labeled gifted in the 3rd grade. So I would write and win spelling bees and write journalism.
Oh, her mic stopped. Your mic stopped if you can hear me.
Things.
There we go.
I just always had a knack for writing and poetry.
And you started rapping in high school. What made you want to start?
Well, I started at about 13 years old. I went to a West Side alternative school, and I was just in the midst of, 13, 14. That's when you start hanging with whoever you go hang with. So I always liked the gangsters. I had to keep it real. I always ran with gang bangers, and it was like, I have to make a choice. So do I want to be known for robbing, stealing, and might get some time for killing? Or do I want to use all this great energy and become a rapper? Because rapping was popping in the mid 80s.
So how did the GBM start on Ruthless Records?
GBM, we were handpicked. Easy E, he always had a vision of having a girl gangster group. So we all were like handpicked. I ended up getting a connection. So I freestyled like over and over a million times until I cussed his little ass out one day. And it was that freestyle when I dissed him. And he was like, oh, so she's not a nice girl. Because I was trying to be lyrical miracle, like I was this battle rapper. And it just hit me like, wait a minute, I'm going to have to get gangster. I'm trying to be cute and fancy. And I cussed his ass out. And I freestyled. And once I did that very night, I freestyled, cussed his ass out, went on about my day, and I got home and checked my voicemail, and it was Easy E inviting me to come meet with him to rap in front, like do a live audition. I did the audition. The other girls came in and did their stuff, and everybody was recommended, or Easy knew someone who knew us 4 talented, dope females out of the West Coast. So he picked us 4 girls. Shouts out to Big Chan, T-Ski, Diamond, and Sylk. And he called us Gangsta Bitch Mentality. We was his female NWA.
And that was too, man. Like, how was it like? Cause how was it like back in those days? Like being with like Easy. Like, how was it? Just like, I know it was like fun and real. Like, how was he working like in studio?
Man, it was like Easy. I thought he was this thug, and when I met him, I'm like, "You're just a black man on the outside, but you mixed up on the inside." He was so intelligent, and it was like working with a white boy. He was a little goofy. He'd tell his jokes. Come on, you guys are crazy. So I love this memory. When we first signed to Ruthless Records, we were doing our first show. So Easy E was like, come on, we're gonna go shopping. Well, we had that gangster image. So we were like, take us to the swap meet or the warehouse or the we used to have surplus. So we was looking for khakis and Ben Davis and all this stuff. We was like, we're gangsta bitch mentality. And he took us to the Galleria, which is in Burbank, like headed towards Calabasas, North Hollywood. So we went to the Galleria and we're like, whoa, we never been in this mall. We from South Central LA. So we still had a little bit of them ways in us. And he took us to the Galleria, get whatever you guys want. Well, me and my homegirls was in there stealing. And we got caught. And Eric was like, oh, what the? Like, you motherfucker, you got a record deal. Why are y'all in here? He was so embarrassed. You know, they found out we were with Easy E. We played the little, you know, we were just playing. We have lots of money. We were doing a trick on each other. We got out of that, but it was just like our first date with Easy E, and gangsta bitch mentality was in the mall stealing and got caught.
And I see the plaque behind you. I didn't have this question written down,
Yeah,
but do you have a?
I seen that. Isn't that the last album of Easy?
Yeah, that's where I
What is it,
appeared.
Straight Off the Streets? I had that
Straight off
album.
the
Matter of
streets.
fact, I used to steal that album from my brother. I was
Yeah,
working on that.
yes. So that's very valuable to me, the Straight Off the Streets of Compton, you know, because it was the last album of Eazy-E. And it was just like unexpected to lose Eazy-E. So when I was awarded with the gold album, I mean, I was just ecstatic. I was like, you know, and there's a story behind this plaque.
Okay.
I know. How was the story behind it?
No, the story behind it is that I was awarded this beautiful gold album. So I received this album in about 1996, 97, right before I did the Romeo and Juliet. So it was very valuable to me. So then I want to say in about 2008, you know, right around 2008, I'm always like, oh, Mother Hubbard, they lived in the cupboard. I want to take care of the whole neighborhood. Everybody could stay with me. Everybody could eat dinner at my house. Well, this particular day, I had some of my friends, they stayed at my house. I was like, lock the door when you leave, blah, 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 blah. To make a long story short, I get back home and I'm like, wait, my Easy-E, Straight Off the Streets of Compton, was missing. I went ecstatic. I went hysterical. I turned back into GBM. I took my pistol through the neighborhood. I said, one of y'all mother stole my plaque. I want my. No, we didn't do it. Somebody must have. Well, maybe we didn't lock the door. So I want to say that happened in 2008. In about 2011, thank God for Twitter. I used to be a Twitter fanatic. I would just tweet, tweet, tweet like I was a bird. So I probably have a whole Lifetime movie on Twitter and shit. So I would just always, you know, go on Twitter. And this great guy, just out of the clear blue, he sent me an inbox message. And he goes, hey, Silky, I think I got something that belongs to you. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, I got the gold album and I'm a big fan of you. And I don't want anything. I just want to give you this record back. Well, whoever the anonymous thieves were, they took my Easy-E plaque to this store that was known, it was in Hollywood. And I want to say it's called Ricola Records, or there's this big place where you can pawn records. So anyway, the thieves out of the neighborhood, or the mysterious burglar, whoever it was, they stole it and pawned it at this big Hollywood shop. Well, the guy from Twitter was like, I love Eazy-E and I even love you more. I follow you. I listen to your music and I just want to give this award back to the right owner. Your name's on it and everything. So I said, well, you know what? I'm performing tonight in West Hollywood. So you bring whoever you want. I'll put you on the guest list. The guy showed up with his wife. And before I performed, we just added it in the show. And I was like, how many people ever had their shit stolen? Straight off the wall. You know, I was like, Cole broke in my house, stole all my shit. And then the guy walked on the stage holding the Eazy-E plaque. So it just made the show that much doper. I cussed out the anonymous burglars and I received my plaque from being stolen from somebody in the hood, and it got turned into Hollywood to that very nice guy. Being honest, he didn't charge me a penny. He said he paid a pretty penny, about $3,500 for that thing at the pawn shop.
Wow.
Well, and one thing, when we had Busy Bone on recently on the show, And he brought you up, or you came up in conversation, and he said that he was so happy for you when you finally got your flowers. And
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. It's been a battle, but through the grace of God, it's like, I was young. I was a little bitter when the Romeo and Juliet thing hit, and then everybody skirted out. But I was still like 24. I was young. I didn't really understand the business. I just know that I didn't sign a production deal to take away anything from me. So, I went through some ups and some downs, and I just always knew that I'm gonna go pro perp, because all the attorneys are scared to fight and they're acting like, oh yeah, we don't want to get involved. So I just prayed. I went back to work. I went back to school to get my bachelor degree in journalism. And I just went back to work because I was like, I'm either gonna commit a crime and go, So I just prayed. And then at the end of the day, by the time I hit 30, I kind of understood. By the time I was 35, I was like, wow, 10 years of my life, and this record's not really giving me what financially. So I just really prayed on it, and I learned how to forgive. And then I just thanked the production company that gave me the opportunity, because, they played their part on promotions and getting the record out there. And the record ended up going #1. So after fighting all these years, it just came back to me. So I am a publisher. I am a writer. I own all my material. So things are just moving forward. Like, I can finally entertain again.
so what would you say would be your favorite piece of memorabilia? I'm guessing the plaque.
My memorabilia of what?
Say anything you've collected maybe along the way through your career.
Oh, well, I would like to say my ASCAP award. I received, that's why it was puzzling to me. I look at it every day. 1999, Writer of the Year, awarded in New York. That was a great time. I performed at Madison Square Garden with Mariah Carey. I can remember meeting Diddy back then, and he shook my hand and said, nice to meet the lady who took my #1 spot. So in 1999, receiving the Writer of the Year award, that's why I'm like, the award came from ASCAP. So how did they miss my publishing? It was just like, who knows who worked with who? We didn't have all this internet and resources. So it was kind of hard. It wasn't as elevated as the game is today. So
that's definitely now having the internet, you can usually do your homework a little more than you can from back in the day. You went to college though and got a degree though. Also.
Yes.
Yeah. What was the degree in?
That was in journalism and broadcasting. Because I'm like, you know what? I didn't waste any time, because everything is a learning experience. But while I knew that I wanted to take a break from music, because hip hop broke my heart and I survived a hit. I survived having a hit record, being at the top, going back down to another life, having to go back to the hood, having to sell weed and just write like up and down. But I'm happy that it made me a stronger woman. I was able to go back to school because I'm always motivated and I'm always excited about learning. So I said, well, let me go pick up where I left off. I had an AA, Associated Arts degree. So I went back to school and got my BA and was like, this is what I always wanted.
I got this question. Prince, you got one then first?
Oh yeah, well, I was just letting you talk whenever.
Okay.
Hey,
okay. I got a good.
About, busy man, and because I did you kind of help them?
Yeah.
Bone Thugs and Harmony and getting.
Well, no, because
what happened? Sorry, what I think you mean, right, Prince? You mean they were telling us. Busy was telling us a story too. How you were the one that talked to Suge to get to get Pac to come to the studio for the Busy or for the Bone Thugs track, Thug Love.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Busy was like, because you know it was a transition. We had lost Easy E. We didn't know where Ruthless Records were going. And he's like, Silky, I'm doing a solo project. I'm Bone Thug, but you know, I'm just gonna start working. And I gotta get a song with Tupac. And I was friends with Tupac before he even knew that I knew how to rap, because I never really pressed like, oh, I'm a rapper. So I would just hang out with Pac and his crew and smoke bud and drink Hennessy and get free tickets to the shows and stuff like that. So I had a great friendship with Pac. And I worked with Shari Henry, that was also very close to Pac. And I ran the idea to Shari, as well as I had a friendship with Suge Knight. And Shari kind of got it to Pac first, because you know Suge was big and tough, and I probably would have we would have had to pay about 10,000, 20 racks. But through relationships, that's why it's so important to be cool, you know, to keep good relationships, because you never know how it play out. So I got the message to Pac. Pac was like, I'll do it if Sylk is on the record. So that was the whole favor of him doing it. So he came in, Versace'd out with his white, about to hit the plane to go to France and model Versace. And he was there, I want to say 45 minutes, all of less of an hour. You know, he knocked out his part. He took a swig of the Hennessy. You know, it wasn't a long all day session. And I've worked with Pac, and I saw his artist, his drive, and I picked up a lot of that. He gave me the name Silkavelli. So after he did his part, I'm like, I'm gonna go blaze this track. So
Right.
Busy, he started me out. A bitch like Sylk get you slipping soon as you get to tripping South Central. Stopping motherfuckers. I said, blood and crippin', little ripsters. Let me kick it. I'm tired of hearing that fake shit. I wrote with real, so then I added my flavor. Shouts out to Busy Bone. He was one of the people that wrote like my first 4 bars. So I mean, you know, because I was like, ain't nobody gonna write my stuff. I'm my own writer. I'm a publisher. I'm this. So it was weird to receive the album and the credit from Old School Shitting In to do a #1 record. And then my publishing was totally whited out, to getting my publishing company and just doing independent records, but my heart really wasn't in it. I was just doing it because I could, but I never really promoted any new music. And I would just do a song for SoundCloud. And then I got with Song Trust and started making money off these little records. And I was like, wait, I'm going to get serious. 2021, I got a lot of stuff already taking place.
All right, tell me a little bit about it, because we've been wanting to know when Silky Fine comes. I ain't gonna lie, I still jam, because I really want to talk about this. This is one of my questions. Busy Bone and Snoop Dogg. That's about like the first time I ever heard Snoop Dogg and Busy Bone on the track.
Right.
Now, how was it working, and on a legendary type of beat? Like, how was it working? At that time, y'all had to get in the studio. So how was it working with Bone, Busy Bone and Snoop?
Okay, this took place because I started working with Renee Moore in 1999, which is Angela and Renee. So it wasn't nothing to remake those records. So once again, I was like, Snoop Dogg, Silky Fine, and Busy Bone. I thought like us 3 would just be another great collaboration. I got Snoop on the phone. I got Busy on the phone. And once again, Silky made that connection connect. Busy showed up, ready to go. Snoop showed up with a couple of the Dog Pound members and his bodyguards, and we did it again. We went in there, we all were in the session, dropped our parts, and Yes Style was created.
All right. Hey, if you could sit down for dinner with any... Oh, you going, Prince? Or I'm gonna shoot it. If you could sit down for dinner with anybody dead or alive, who would it be?
I would say if I could sit down with anybody for dinner, it'd have to be Easy E and Tupac.
Yeah.
Like I would just, oh God, reincarnate, come back to Earth.
Okay.
Those were the two guys that believed in me. They never hanky pankied and played. They really made me feel like a sister. I call them my God brothers to this day because I felt like God answered my prayer by even being around those guys and not like being a girlfriend or a groupie, or it was like they treated me like a sister. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Did you have a favorite venue that you've ever performed in?
I would have to say, oh boy, it was so many. Oh my God.
You did say Madison Square Garden. And I know every time I ask that question, everybody always says their dream venue is Madison Square Garden.
It was like I did it before a lot of people. Like I performed there before Jay-Z even put it in his record. So Madison Square was definitely over the top. And I loved out here in Los Angeles, our sports arena, the Los Angeles Coliseum. I loved performing there. We did a big tribute for Easy, like months after he passed away. I loved performing in George Washington. I did the big arena there, and it was just beautiful. Not Washington on the East Coast, but the
Northwest.
Midwest.
Yes.
So
have you ever been to Vancouver? We're only 2 hours north of Seattle.
No, that's why I'm getting these hot new records together, and I'm like, I kind of consider myself like Aretha Franklin or Betty Wright of rap, because talent is talent and there's no age limit on good music. If you can deliver the music and you still got what it takes to rock a crowd, I suggest everybody get out there and live their best dream.
Who is your role model in the music industry?
I want to say NWA. It just really put the fire to me. Salt and Pepper, Betty Wright. I love the oldies, Curtis Mayfield. I mean, I just love music. Peter Frampton, like my aunt took me to a concert in the 70s. And to see Peter Frampton was like, I was just all rocked out. So I mean, Michael Jackson, Prince, there's just so many. Tina Marie. I mean, I love music. So it was just
it's her birthday today, too.
Yeah, happy birthday, Miss Tina. Yes.
And then it's Prince's birthday tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, my birthday is tomorrow. My name is Prince. It's crazy. I have my name from artist phoning on as Prince.
I'm going to be celebrating. I got a great priority pack. Baby, it's filled up too.
Hey, I can't wait to see that, though. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Man, favorite movie? Gorilla. Wait, this stuff, I don't know where my camera is, but okay, I'm trying to show you the package. This is something I love to do. I should have been a grower. Yeah, so I just got a special priority pack, and it's a zip. It's the best stuff going. It's called Gorilla Cakes. So I'm just gonna have a great weekend celebrating for Tina Marie and Prince and just letting it go. My favorite movie would be Claudine. I'm not into a lot of fiction, and that's what I'm into, writing movies, and I have some stuff lined up. But definitely Claudine set it off. Like, I'm just straight one of them independent film type people. I would have to say I get a kick out of I Can't Wait. I still haven't seen Coming to America Part 2. So I like the Eddie Murphy movies.
That's what I'm doing tonight. I'm doing that tonight.
Right. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm pretty much urban on the movies. Like I'm not into action and science and fiction and let's watch the people land on Jupiter and
Right,
I'm
right.
not
The
into
Star Wars.
sci-fi. Yeah, I'm straight out urban. Like, you
Right.
know, yeah. I can't really get into a lot of films because I'm a writer. So I'm so creative that instead of watching something I'm not interested in, I'll study the movies that I know fall under my writing skills. Not to say I might write a horror film, you know.
Mm.
I'm just not
You
that
can do it.
gothic.
You can do it. Hey,
Yeah,
if Ice Cube said it, Ice Cube said it the best. If you if you can write a verse that you can write rhymes,
right. You
you can
know,
write a
so
movie.
yeah, so I'm just excited that I am full of energy. I have not had any illnesses. I didn't get struck with corona. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Please keep me protected. And I mean, even 2020, I think a lot of people needed a break because it was just so much stuff, just everybody, videos, tacky this, everything, a million artists and no hit records. And I like to say, shout out to Sweetie.
Yeah.
She-
She's gonna regret that.
She's, she's okay. We get back to it.
Yeah.
Sh-
Hey, you
You hear?
froze there. You froze there, Silky.
I was just saying that I always got to give props out to what's hot, whether it's before me or whether it's after me. And I like to give Saweetie a big old kudos, props. She's like the first female solo from the
Mm-hmm.
West Coast that hit the charts.
Oh,
So since Romeo and Juliet, I'm like, okay, I'm waiting. I want to hear a female below the charts. So I just got to stop to say, get it, sweetie, do your thing, and continue to hit them charts.
I
Oh,
always
right.
have
So
I
that's
always
what I
have
was
you when
actually.
so
Well, I was actually. That's what one of the things I was gonna say. How how does it feel now? Because you got Sweetie from West Coast. You got Megan Thee Stallion from the South, and you got like people like Rap City, and all these other type of females getting their shine. Back in the days, you know what I'm saying? Was it a little bit hard now? And what do you feel about now? You seeing the younger generation having their own move as a female artist.
I love what they're doing. And my new project would be nothing like that because I'm like I said, the Aretha Franklin of rap. Now, the youngsters are going to feel it because I always come with a street sound with a good message. So I've never heard a person sound like Silky Fine. They try. Shouts out to my little proteges. But it's like, I'm not never intimidated. I'm not worried because Silky has her own signature sound. So I don't. I just like what they're doing. I would not talk about those topics. I would definitely be teaching these young women to be queens. And you can grind, you can hustle, but you ain't got to be a hoe. You ain't got to fuck everybody's man. You ain't got to take it and tap it and trap it and slap it. I'm going to tell them how to be smart and have fun going to college and take your online classes and hustle on the side, do hair, sell a little bit of weed. They shouldn't have made the shit legal. Do what you got to do, but you don't got to sell your body. You don't have to show your body because beauty is within. Anybody can look good outside.
that's for sure. Are you Blueface's aunt?
I'm like a god aunt. Blueface is, a kid up out the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm just proud that he's our goofy. I told him, stop trying to be a gangbanger. But he's our goofy crip that does his stuff. And he made the hood look popping. So
Yeah.
no, but I'm not related to him.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people, Yeah, a lot of people call me auntie, like they call Snoop uncle. So I would never put out any rumors. You never know who's listening, and what I do is keep it real. But yeah,
that's
he's
like us
very
calling. That's like us calling Uncle Rick Ross, right?
right.
Yeah, we call him Uncle Rick, you know.
Right. Like everybody calls Uncle Snoop, and
Yeah.
I'm Auntie Sylk. You know, I still stay connected with the youth. Like tomorrow night, I host a studio that I'm just now getting it, and it's popping every week. I'm helping artists, free studio time. It's called The Takeover. Like currently, I'm doing a documentary of my life, because there was a lot of times where people was wondering, where are the female artists on the West Coast? It was like
you and Lady Rage.
Yeah, well, you had Yo-Yo before us, then
Yep,
Lady Rage. You
Lady
had
Rage.
you had Sugar T.
Sugar T, yep.
Yep, you had Miss Toy with the Militia Crew. You had funky for the streets. The girls out of the Bay. I can't think of their name. And they were dope. On the Expedition, a funky expedition.
Oh yeah. Oh, JJ Fad too.
You got they were before me. So after me, I think like Miss Toy probably did a solo project. The Doggy Angels came after the Silky Fine.
Quick Cognac.
And then, shouts out to my homegirls. But then, I love there's so many dope females out here. I've worked with every independent West Coast female ever. So I've never put myself like I'm better than. I've always been humble. I've always been willing to, show them how to really do ad libs. I've worked with so many females, and they kind of got a little bit of Sylk in them, but nobody could ever do Silky Fine but Silky Fine. And it's just like that's why I give Saweetie her props, because after Dog the Angels was a group, but I'm speaking of a single solo female that dropped an album that had a hit single that everybody was singing. I don't know. I might be wrong. It might be some groups, but I'm talking about a rapper, a solo, a female. And I just think of Saweetie.
Do you drink? And if you do, what is your favorite drink?
Occasionally, I'm not a liquor store drinker. Yeah. I'm totally a bar drinker. And since the COVID, they shut all the shit down. So shouts out to True Legacy. I stopped drinking vodka because Ciroc had me cutting up. I'm cussing out best friends. I'm just telling motherfuckers off, So the Ciroc, I would wake up with a hangover. I'd have a badass headache, barely could make it to work. So I start drinking, shouts out to Percy and the True Legacy vodka. I start drinking that. It's smooth. It's distilled through diamonds. So I mix a little pineapple juice, a little cranberry, and a shot of that True Legacy diamond drink. And then if I go to the bar, there's a place in Inglewood that makes an awesome margarita, and they pour the shot of Hennessy or Don Julio or Patron, and it looks like a big stick popsicle with chile all around the ring and Moscow mules. But I'm a bar drinker. Like I've never just let me go hang out because the liquor store is on every corner. I'm not with the liquor store drinks.
What's the favorite verse you've ever done? If you could pick one.
I'm in a hell of a situation. I got love for the homegirl, but it ain't no escaping. I've been waiting on the chance for me to do my thing. When I go out, baby, I go out with a bang. Thursday night, about to hang out at the House of Blues. Fresh attire, new shoes, and a new hairdo. Woo! I'm mesmerized by the music that they bump in the club. I see my homegirl love, looking like he needs some love. Cause every time I see him, he be giving me the eye. Cause he my type and I'm his type. And plus we love to ride. ride. Imagine that. Off we left. Hot sex, hot sweat. It ain't like we just met. Why he trusts me. Since this girl went on a little trip, I made his sweat drip. He made me strip. It ain't my fault in the fucked up relationship. That just go to show you never know who you're dealing with. Lust over. That's why I live my life trustless. I wish I wouldn't trust me so much. That was a record I did with Snoop Dogg, and it was on the album that he did on No Limit. And
The Last Meal?
Yeah. Not The Last Meal. Not The Last Meal. It was called Top Dog.
Yeah.
Top Dog, yeah.
Wasn't that the
I was
album?
on a record. I was on that album, and it's called Trust Me. And that was a remake from Bobby Womack. And we were young, and I don't think Snoop got the proper permission to remake that record back in 97, 98. You know, so they kind of took a lot of the publishing because he didn't get the record cleared. So it really just was a record on the album.
Do you stay in contact with any of the like Little Easy, Young Easy, or E3?
Oh, yeah. Those are my god nephews. Erica, his daughter, EB, little EB. I'm looking forward to writing her because she's dope. I love her style, but I just see me doing some writing for her to sound like her dad. Like I want to give EB some gangster shit. I want her to just at least have a rock and roll record talking shit like her dad used to do. I'm very close with little E3. I've done records with E3 before anybody even thought to rap with him.
Have you talked to Remarkable, the other daughter from Atlanta?
I don't get to see her much because she's out of town. I've seen her at some of the tribute shows. And like I was saying, Evie, that's who she travels a lot, but I'm good friends with her mom, Tracy Jernigan, Jernigan. So yeah, I just like to keep good relations with, the people that came up.
I remembered the name of the West Coast girl from the Bay that we couldn't think of. Marvelous.
Yes, Marvelous.
Yes.
Super dope. I can't forget Marvelous.
Stepping in my steel toes with her.
And then I met her at the Hip Hop Awards, West Coast Hip Hop Awards with Octavius.
Oh yeah, I did that show with Octavius.
Yeah, see, I won in 2009. I won A&R of the year there, and then I won 2010. I won Mixtape of the Year, Canadian Mixtape of the Year.
Right.
And then I won again in 2011. I won those 09, 2010, and 2011. And then I don't
know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I got all kind of awards. This is the West Reunion honor. I don't know if this one was Octavia.
No, I haven't seen that one. No.
Yeah, this was 2014. Oh yeah, he had those little He
had the plaques, the little round ones, and then he had the trophies, the taller trophies as well.
Right, I had a trophy. I think my trophy got knocked over or something.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I still got mine on the shelf because I used to hit you up back in the day, try to get verses on my Dominican artists. I had a Dominican artist that I managed in Vancouver that we basically did features with all the people on the West Coast. And I used to try to get you on tracks, but he's now moved away and I don't know what he's doing, but.
Right. Well, who knows? He might surface, and I'm back to life. I'm still working and loving my career, and then I'm still being creative. So, like I said, I'm working on. I manage a studio in Hollywood. On Saturday nights, I host the Takeover, where artists engineer their up to 5 hours. Whoever's ready to get their stuff in. If we have more than 3 artists, I let them all go. You got an hour and a half. You better go in there because time is money and money is time. Yeah. So, I got that going. I have my documentary that I'm working on. So I look forward to the end of the year, having that complete. I'm writing a book, a nursery book for children. I'm just doing everything I could possibly do.
You're doing a motivational, and that's a great thing, especially coming out of the area that you have been in. And
Wow.
speaking of that, we was talking to, oh yeah, and I had to shout out my boy Blaze. Blaze is Busy Bones producer, and I got him on my Facebook, and I was telling him about Romeo and Juliet. He was like, "Oh, that's my shit." This is the first thing he said. So shout out to Blaze. Also, I wanted to say, Chill. Do you and Chill still talk?
Yeah, I just spoke to Chill. Chill travels a lot. Chill doing his thing. I spoke to him about a week or so ago, but we don't do music together. We don't run in the same circle. I love Chill. Shouts out to Black Chill. He was the creator of The Hook. So that was a great thing, catchy, and it made the record go. So, it was definitely a team effort, and a lot of people think that he might have wrote the whole song, but I wrote the lyrics and he wrote the hook.
Right. That's cool because I was actually thinking, and also now to this days and era, do you think now with everything now going on, was it way better in the 90s than you think now, or is it way easier now for people in this generation?
It's real easy now. It's very hard to get ripped off because we have the streaming channels. Everybody can just go upload their music and the money comes back directly to the artist or whoever set up those accounts. You can still get bamboozled, but it's much easier today. But I like the structure back in the day because it was real record deals. To now, it's like, Sylk Records, anybody has a record label. It's like tie your shoestring records.
Yeah, like everybody has a podcast.
Yeah. And I was thinking of launching a social awareness podcast, but I'm more focused now. Like, I don't want to be doing too many things. Once I became manager of this recording studio and to help the young people, old people, like I said, there's no age limit, but to be able to take a Saturday and offer free studio time, that's an inspiration. That's a motivation for people who might feel like giving up, just any little outlet to help keep this music alive, to give great inspiration, to make music, to co-write records that have a meaning. I think our music has lost a lot of substance. We weren't proud to take drugs. We weren't saying pop pills and take lean. And I just think the music have directed our youth. There's so many incarcerated and there's so much crime because it's not enough leaders that really want to educate versus me. So I'm more into just sharing the game, trying to get more artists to come out their shell. And I'm going to give y'all one more record.
Yeah, awesome. And that's one thing too about the old generation. You had people to teach to get even you think of Pac's lyrics, he tried to tell you to get off the drugs and out of the streets and stuff. These kids nowadays, they're telling you to do drugs and overdose and what kind of message is that sending? And then you hear it in their raps where they're almost slurring their words because they're so fucked up.
Yeah. And then you got the young girls thinking that they got to twerk, and you got all these teenagers that are just ready to get their stomachs tucked, and you're only 19. Give it a break. I don't knock anybody. I'm just more with the natural, and I like workout and, the Corona. I gained a little weight all up here, but I'm Dolly Parton.
It doesn't matter though. You still look beautiful,
yes,
Miss
you do.
Your
last name fine for a reason. And we used to have a crush on you.
Don't make me blush now. I still blush. And I'm not I'm not drinking wine. Yeah, I'm not drinking wine. I'm drinking Jamaica juice. No.
Was that I think that was Prince taking a shot.
He's trying to take my shot.
Yeah, he keep getting dark on us.
Yeah, but okay, I want to thank you for taking your time and enjoy your weekend.
You do the same, and I'll be seeing more of you.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'll get this back to you as soon as possible.
Thanks, love. Have a great night.